Hello lovely people. Hi, it is 9 p.m. at night, so please excuse me if I am a little bit tired whilst filming this, because I was meant to film this earlier, but then we have a leak in the ceiling and there was a builder here. So very excitingly, I am about to become the mother to a 2-year-old. That makes it sound like I'm adopting a 2-year-old. I have had my child for the last almost 2 years. He's just almost turning 2. I told you I was tired. So I thought it would be really nice to do a little video that was about things we have found really useful between the ages of 1 and 2. Because a lot of people do the kind of things that have really helped in my first year with a baby, which is obviously really great, and it's really good to know the kind of newborn essentials and then bigger baby essentials. But when it comes to that young toddler stage, it's just kind of the stuff that you need. What is the stuff? So in this video, I'm not really going to be covering the kind of toys that I think are great, materials for your child to play with, things like that. Instead, I'm going to go more for things that for parents are actually quite useful and helpful. In terms of parenting style, we are definitely Montessori aligned. Rupert attends a Montessori school in the mornings, and at home his life is structured in much the same way. If you don't know what Montessori is, I have a video that's all about it right here, but really it's a lot to do with kind of helping the child be as independent as possible. So it's having things that are sized to him, having things that he is able to use himself, having things that he is able to do himself rather than have us do things for him, and really allowing him to be just as independent as possible and feel within himself that inner drive to succeed. Help me to help myself is one of the key Montessori things. It's very much based around preparing your child's environment in the way that they are able to succeed in a task and feel that inner enjoyment and the pride of having succeeded in something without having to look for external validation. You can see previous similar videos I've done here, including one I did when he was 18 months old, which is like best gifts for a Montessori 1-year-old, which was around Christmas time. Number one of the most helpful things that I think we have found that Rupert loves is his learning tower. And there are different names for them. Learning tower, I think, is the most used name in the circles that I use. Kitchen steps, basically something that aids your child in being able to get up to the kitchen counter so they can assist in various things around the kitchen. Rupert loves his for being able to do practical life activities. In Montessori, that's what they call anything that's kind of as it sounds, really, practical life. Things around the house. So he likes doing a little cooking type things. We like to bake together, which we do on the kitchen island, and the tower allows him to climb up, be able to stand on it easily, and he can hold the bowl and bake. And it has a surround around him so that I don't worry too much about him falling backwards, which I might do if there were just some steps. He also uses it for helping with unloading the dishwasher, which he loves doing, has done since before we got the learning tower, but the learning tower really assisted because it means he can get up to the top shelf of the dishwasher. We first got the learning tower when he was 14 months old, I'm going to say, and he's been able to climb up himself, although I do know people who've had theirs earlier and just kind of popped the child in there. He wants to be really involved in these kind of activities, so he's very interested in getting his hands on things. Oh, and scrambled eggs. It's one of the only things he uses directly, does heat with. We haven't yet moved on to doing any kind of stir fry with him. He just does scrambled eggs because I think I'm less worried about heat when it comes to scrambled eggs. I don't think the actual scrambled eggs are gonna go anywhere. Number 2, his little bicycle. I rave about this bicycle all the time. It's not super, I don't know, lots of people are very into balance bikes, and I completely understand that. Many children who are a lot more physical, children who are very up on the gross motor, love their balance bikes, but for Rupert, his gross motor was slightly delayed on those milestones. So for him, when he got a tricycle for his first birthday, and it made the world of difference. I swear this tricycle is what helped him learn to walk in 2 months. To give you an idea of how delayed he was in those milestones, he learned to sit up from lying down at 11.5 months old. It's normally something I think you do at 6 months old, so he was a bit late to the game there. And then for his first birthday, which was 2 weeks after this, he got given a tricycle by his amazing Uncle Jonas and Auntie Emily, thank you. He just loved it, and he started using it as a sort of Zimmer frame. So he had his leg over it, and he'd walk around the kitchen with it, and he realized eventually that he didn't need the bike. He could let go, and that he was actually walking all by himself, and the bike became more of a hindrance than a help. Also, it's a really cute tricycle. Now, I mentioned that Rupert was not one for the gross motor skills, but he has been from a very young age obsessed with language. So this is something that if you also have a child who is a book obsessive, you're gonna need. It's a book rack. It is an amazing rack for board books that allows your child the independence of being able to choose the book they want to read and very easily pick it out when the books are all stacked together, and then they learn to put the book back on the rack, which is just a lovely thing to watch, and gives them again that independence of being able to say, oh, I'm going to take myself to my book corner, I shall sit down, pick out the book I would like to read, have a little read and put it back. Next, potties. Obviously, I have to talk about potties. I made a whole video about toilet learning and elimination communication, to that one here. I think that the type of potty that you try really can make such a huge difference to your child's interest in going to the potty, trying the potty, blah, 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 blah. We have tried most portable potties there are, and he's not a fan. We've also tried the little seat that you carry around with you and then you just pop it onto the adult seat. It's absolutely not. Also not happening, largely because I think he's just quite small boned and the hole is too large. Your child, if you are having difficulty with potty learning, potty training, any of these kinds of things, consider the potty and see if that might be one of the issues. We have 2 different types of the baby born potty, and because we started using the potty with Rupert when he was 8 months old, but he wasn't quite steady holding himself up, so I originally got him the potty that had a back. However, interestingly, that one is actually higher from the ground than this one here. So that was an interesting thing to learn, and I wish it was the other way around, but it's not. Potty with a higher back, better for younger children, but also too high off the ground. The height makes it good for older children. They also have a little toilet seat, which actually has a splash guard at the front, which is really great. And on a related note, loose clothing, especially if you're trying to teach a little one how to get dressed and undressed by themselves so that they feel super empowered to be able to do things themselves. And if you have a strong-willed child who is going to do it, it definitely helps with any issues that you have in the morning to just be like, you choose your clothes, you do it. This one or this one, which are you wearing? Are you wearing that one? Brilliant. Put it on, go. We've actually managed to find some really good, kind of loose fitting, easily removable by toddlers. I know I'm saying this, and there are definitely people who are like, my toddler definitely can take their own clothes off. It's trying to keep the clothes on that's the issue. And indeed, the teaching them to put the clothes back on may help with that. Oh my god, I'm just yawning. H&M are some of the best for little shorts that I have found because the elastic is not too tight. They actually have a little button inside that you can make it tighter or looser, tighter or looser. But these ones are delightfully large, so he's quite able to put his own legs in. And then the elastic is so stretchy that it does actually go up and then stay on. And in terms of tops, Uniqlo have been really amazing. Generally, we want to be looking for tops that aren't too long in the sleeve because we don't want the sleeves to be getting all in the way and like dirty, interfering, bothering with what they're busy doing right now. It needs to be able to go over the head very, very easily for a small child. Okay, this one next, I don't know, not necessarily Montessori, it's just something I think toddlers should have. A small bag, absolutely vital to our life with a toddler, we found, is a tiny bag. We found that the little bag is incredibly helpful in any situations that involve waiting, whether that be in a restaurant, in a doctor's waiting room, maybe you're just waiting for the bus. The little bag saves the day with the treasures. And he really likes the fact that he can put it over his own shoulder, carry it around with himself, and they're out and about. And then whenever he wants to, he can just pop it open, get something out, have a little play. And finally, mats. I found mats have just been really helpful. We have a lot of different types of mats that we bring out based on what he has chosen from his shelf to play with. Rupert's toys and some Montessori materials are arranged on 2 different console tables that we've have little shelves on them, so everything is set out and he can easily take things down and put them either on his little table or down on the floor on a mat based on what it is. He has one that's amazing, which is a world map from Guthrie. It's stunning. So his map, it's a world map and it's quite plain. It does have all the countries mapped out on. It does have some countries named and labelled, but not all of them, so it's not an overwhelming amount of letters. And he loves setting out all of his animals on this map. Where does this animal come from? Oh, it goes there. Okay, where does this animal live? Oh, it goes there, right? So highly recommend having some plain mats and some mats that you can interact with. I know I just said that was the end, but at the actual end, I really think it's important though, especially if your child is doing sort of a Montessori in a more structured setting and environment in a school, to make sure that at home you have both closed and open-ended toys, because Montessori toys are developed with a very specific developmental goal in mind. They're not just to have fun with, they're sort of to support the child's very natural development in a specific area and their growth stage, whether it's to encourage independence or maybe it's to improve their just fine motor skills. If you're putting little pegs in your pegboard, maybe you're helping with your problem solving skills because you're doing a puzzle, or your memory. Generally it all helps them build good concentration as well. And the idea is that there is a completion point as well, that they are able to say, I have done this, I have achieved it, I understand this now, right? And they feel a sense of, I have satisfaction, personal satisfaction in that task. I think at home it's also really good to have things like blocks, just lots of blocks in a little basket that they can build and really experiment with gravity and use their problem solving skills there in a kind of engineering sense, that it isn't so much I have completed it, I have solved it, but just what happens if. I hope that helped and gave you some ideas for things to do or things you might want to look into. And thank you so much to the Kellgren-Fozard Club for making videos like this possible. They're my wonderful membership club here on YouTube, who by sponsoring monthly support the channel and gain access to exciting things like behind the scenes videos, polls, birthday shout-outs, and they're the people that you see in the comments with my little face after their name. Of course, if you haven't already, subscribe, because we're actually really close to 1 million. Has anyone noticed? I've noticed. Start placing your bets now as to when that will happen. No, I'm not meant to bet. I'm a Quaker. So you can all bet for me. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye bye!